voices, all a lot of laughing faces. My body, head, and soul, many miles away. I could start a perfect story, find myself and find my glory. This deceptive world, giving me the sign, giving me the sign. Giving me the sign, giving me the sign.
Welcome everyone to the Sci-Fi Queens tonight, where we explore the female characters in sci-fi television, movies, book, art, and tonight we are doing sci-fi and gaming. If you're new to our channel, welcome to the channel. We ask that you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when our next segment is coming up. It's every 2 weeks. And tonight we have our returning visiting sci-fi queen Sara. How you doing, Sara?
I'm good. How are you, Nita?
I'm good. And we have our new lovely guest Courtney with us, a sci-fi and gamer. Okay, sci-fi fan, gamer, sci-fi gaming gamer. She is the expert tonight who will be teaching us. As you know, Navia is still on vacation. She should be back with us for our next episode. And Annie's still doing 10-hour shifts. So just keep her in your hearts and prayers because she is doing some wonderful work in the hospital. So we look forward to having the team back as soon as everyone can manage to get our time slots together. But we are here with these two fabulous ladies, and we're going to be talking about gaming and how female gamers, the experiences that they have as female gamers, how they're treated, and also the games that females gamers like to play. And we're going to start with Courtney. Courtney, tell us a little bit about you and about your gaming experience.
I'm mostly a PC gamer. Grew up playing original Nintendo, N64, a little bit of console gaming. There is an Xbox in the house. I don't think it's hooked up, but mostly PC gaming these days. I grew up on the West Coast with a Mac, so I really didn't get into gaming until like middle school, as far as on a computer, and started off with Warcraft 2, classic.
Yes.
Tides of Darkness, super old.
We have our Warcraft 2. This is the one you started with.
Exactly. Yep, RTS,
All right.
real-time strategy game. So always played as the orcs because you get dragons. I mean, and who wants to be a human anyway? I mean, I got to be a human the rest of the time.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, I'm not a current gamer, but I remember playing Mario Brothers when it first came out back in the 80s.
Exactly.
And with the Atari and the joystick and Pong and all those good games. But you play games that involve other people.
Right. Yeah, I actually I got Warcraft 2 as a birthday present from a friend. And so back then you had to pick up your entire machine and go to your friend's house and plug them into each other, because this was pre-internet days.
Exactly.
But you could still have a LAN party, even though there was 3 of us doing it. And then got more into MMOs. Played World of Warcraft for a few years. Played Final Fantasy 11, which was kind of my first really big MMO that I played. And I played that with my partner and a couple of friends online that we knew in person. And probably a good 3 to 4 years of that.
So those experiences must have been more positive because these are people you knew that you were playing with, correct?
Right. And we could, that was the kind of thing where it was, you could talk in game via text, but we didn't have, back in the day, we didn't have Ventrilo yet. We didn't have Discord or Mumble or anything like that. So it was mostly
Twitch.
Yeah,
where
definitely
people
not
play
Twitch.
games during Twitch.
Right, right. Yeah, it wasn't pre-webcam days, but it definitely wasn't, you weren't streaming yourself playing a game yet. This was probably, I want to say 2008 to 2011-ish. And then WoW for 3 or 4 years. And then I kind of got out of that and didn't game for a while. And then basically I ended up retiring very young, luckily. And my husband is not a gamer, but he doesn't mind that I am. So this is my social interaction. We
Okay.
recently moved, so I've met a lot of people on different Discord servers. I have a buddy in Washington that I've known for 20 years, and he and I run a Discord server together, and we host different games on that. So we ran a Palia server for a minute, and that's a newer game that's, I would say it's pretty rated PG. You can romance some of the NPCs, but it's not graphic like Baldur's Gate.
So it's not like Sims. I like Sims. I like playing Sims where you can marry your characters off and have babies.
Right. Not quite.
Hmm.
Although the funniest thing to me about this game so far is that you can romance the robot NPCs. So I'm still trying to figure out how to seduce a robot. Go figure.
It's always good to know how to seduce a robot.
Yeah,
And now this
gotta push the right buttons.
particular game of yours is is it is it like a uh a game where you're only playing with people you know? Are there people that you don't know
No,
that you're playing with?
the whole server is just random people. You can add friends if you know their username, and then
Okay.
you can basically invite them to your server. But
Hmm.
it's interesting because it's not like most of the games I've played where you choose a server with a
Okay.
name. This one's kind of, they just throw you on whichever one is the best connection, as far as I can tell.
Now I want to talk a little bit about this game.
Satisfactory.
Yes, you told me a
Satisfactory
little
is
bit about it, and it really seems interesting. Talk to me about the characters and about the game and the purpose. What's the goal?
You've been dropped on an alien planet. You are basically, the kindest way I can put it is, you're basically like an Amazon worker. Like, it's it's kind of got that Portal kind of to it, where like you can, definitely the company is evil. And they have dumped you on this planet, and you're there to mine resources and send them up into space to, the mothership or whatever. But all the characters in the game are female. Every single character looks just like
Oh,
that, which I thought was really interesting. I played that one with a couple of friends that I know in real life and a couple of people that we've met online, and uh, definitely the more the merrier in this one. But it's a super complicated resource harvesting game, I guess I would call it. It's a lot
Mhm.
of, go and pick up the thing, go kill monsters and pick up the things, put pieces together. Kind of a, I don't know how you'd explain that. I'm sure there's a term for it. I don't know right now, but it was interesting to me to, because obviously we can't. There's not a. It's all first person view in the game, so you can only
Okay.
see what you're looking at. You can't actually see your own character, but we can look at each other, and we've realized all the characters are female. So I thought that was kind of a neat thing that they did, because that's like, you don't get to choose your character, you don't get to choose what you look like, you never upgrade your clothing. You can upgrade your backpack, you can get a jetpack, you can build, as you can see, trains and go
things to
karts
help
and all
you
kinds of stuff. Yeah,
things to help you harvest and do your job.
right, exactly. But you're basically just building stuff, and it can get very complicated very quickly. It's one of those games where people are more now than ever building mods for it. So we've we've overloaded the server a couple times just putting too many mods on. But
Now you say this is all female characters, which is very interesting to me.
yeah.
This is very new idea because I don't think there's too many games out there where the main characters are all female.
Hmm.
Um, how is this different when you saw this game? How did this differ to you? How did it influence you? Um, how did it make you feel?
I thought it was pretty neat. I mean, and that's not something you usually see, and it's, not to get too graphic, but you're very obviously female, or at least, have breasts. And
Yes.
so what I've noticed in most games where it's kind of, if you're the amorphous blob character, they're generally male coded, have a male sounding voice, or just, kind of a neutral looking character, whereas this was
Mhm.
definitely on purpose. And I haven't read into, I don't know if the creators of the game have written about why that is or anything like that. I probably should go do my homework, but I was surprised, and I think it's a good thing.
I think I like the fact that these roles are not the stereotypical imagery of what women are.
Right,
She's
and it's
doing
not
a regular job.
right, and it's not a sexy outfit. I mean, it's
No,
No,
it's
it's
not.
it's
like a pair of
functional.
Carhartt overalls, yeah. And
Yes.
there's some people, I can't remember their name right now. There's a couple that cosplayed as the Satisfactory characters for a convention, and they did a great job. The costumes look really good. I mean, they're basically an exact copy of this, and they actually sewed their overalls themselves and everything. But
I mean, I think
it's
it's
interesting.
pretty clear that this is a female character just by the picture
Hmm.
alone. I
Yeah,
think it definitely has those feminine qualities
right.
there,
Well,
which I like.
and a typical female pose too, versus where if it was a
Yeah,
man, it'd be
yeah,
more like, and you know what
yes.
I mean? Well, you know what I mean.
Yes, I
Yeah.
think so. I think we understand. I think that that pose is more common among women, I think, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah,
And I think that that's very true. Um, but it doesn't take away from her in the game, because I know growing up, all of the characters were male. Mario Brothers, all of these characters were male. And whenever there was a female character, it was a princess in distress or some sort
right.
of female that needed rescuing. And I'm not downing these things. I think that that's fine, but it does say about who is creating this. And I think that when you create these images of people, you're creating the idea that this is how women are, you know and I think that anyone can play these games, male, female, can play any game. That's totally fine. But it is the message that's being sent, and I think a game like this, it's a very positive message.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the traditional housewife, mom, female in
Hmm.
distress gender role. This is,
Yep.
a worker, and it's not, in my opinion, it looks like they're not sexualized. And
And
that's,
exactly, I've seen some games like zombie games, killing
yeah,
zombies.
Hmm.
The woman is always half dressed, in distress, being
Very practical.
being saved by a man, and they're not a reflection. As someone who watches a lot of zombie movies and TV shows, they're really not a reflection of what's happening in these movies and TV shows. So, the sexualization of women is not always positive. It's not, because it gives the wrong idea that we are helpless, and we don't want to be viewed as helpless because we're not, right?
Right.
I am super independent.
Exactly, exactly. Um, but yeah, I mean, Sarah, what are your thoughts about these games and how they've evolved over the years?
Well, I agree with Courtney that this is like it's been, and you also, that there's been traditionally male or non-gendered characters, but they've been male coded like that. That they've been, you're always a guy with a gun, or in a lot of the games that I play with, that I mean that's what they are. It's got the because I play first person shooters, and it's always the guy with a gun. It's like, why can't I be a girl? I want to be, but I don't want to be,
And they don't give you the option to be female?
in later iterations, yes, but like in the first, at the beginning, no,
They
it
give
was
you.
just a man with a gun, and that was it. And you could upgrade and get better guns and all that, and get better armor, but you can't change your character. And back then we didn't really. That was, I mean, I'm talking like 1996. That I know that just aged me, but that's that's when Quake came out, and that was the one that I started with, and like, oh, this is kind of fun, and the running and gunning, and still doing the exploring and stuff, and finding all the hidden stuff, but being able to smash stuff up. Not everybody wants to, make a pie. Or, well, I have friends now that play these cooking games, and you know and farming games and stuff like that. It's like, I don't want to do that. I do that in real life. I want to do I want to do something that I can't do in real life. Go shoot monsters, or battle a dragon, or
Yes, because I think that ideally these games are about fantasy and
yeah.
about doing the impossible, right? I mean, you don't want to
Mhm.
live real life. You want to
Yeah,
kind of do the things that you wouldn't do.
yeah, well, that you would hope you wouldn't do.
Mm.
So, I mean, I know that some of them are, and like I said, sometimes they got better later on. And like even with Mario, because I remember playing, I think it was Mario 3, but the further you get into the game, I think you can choose to be Peach. I don't remember though. I like, or there's like a certain levels that you have to play as her, because the boys are busy or whatever. So everybody has to play as her, but you don't get to pick her as a character option.
I
Does
was
that make
just gonna.
sense?
I was like, if we can ask the chat, like, what was the first game where you could character select for a female character?
Yeah, does
I
anybody who's watching, if you know what was the first game that you realized you can character select as female as opposed to male, throw it in the chat if you know. Okay, John. Hi, John. Thank you. He says
Street
Street
Oh,
Fighter
Street
Fighter
Fighter
2. Oh
2. That's
2.
yeah,
right. Because
yeah.
I used to,
Thank you.
what was it? I can't remember her name though.
And Devin says SMB2 was the first I can remember.
Super Mario Brothers 2. Okay,
Yeah.
Yep,
cool.
yep. And John says also Mortal
Right.
Kombat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mortal
Yeah.
Kombat, I remember
Fighting
that.
games. But
Yeah, the
Hmm.
fighting
again, show me, especially earlier games. Show me a fighting game
that the girls aren't
where
like
she's actually dressed to fight.
Exactly.
not in
Hmm.
hot pants
Yeah,
and
Yep.
a
exactly.
halter top. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
if that's what you're wearing and you got to fight, that's what you're wearing and you got to fight. But it's not my first choice.
No.
That's the thing. Some of these games, the characters are going in knowing they're fighters. So you're choosing, these characters are choosing these outfits. That wouldn't be a female choice.
Yeah, like
Right.
what, Daisy Dukes in a halter top?
Yes.
No. No, that's not going to be comfortable. That's not going to be the way it's going to go, especially if you got
Especially
to
in
do
like
high kicks. Yeah.
exactly. Well, like that was always the funniest thing to me about like playing the more like medieval styled or like how fantasy games. Like
Yeah.
you got like the Princess Leia bikini on and you're out there like, throwing a two-handed greatsword around like
Exactly. I don't think so.
see, yeah, there's too much poison ivy for that.
But
Yeah.
see, this would be okay if the men were equally dressed inappropriately for the task they're doing, but they're not. They're dressed according to that task that they're doing. And therein lies the problem.
Or it's
Right.
the same gear, but when you equip it onto a male character, it looks completely different than on a female
Oh,
character.
that happens in Skyrim sometimes because like you
Oh, I
put an
bet.
outfit, you put some armor on a man, and it's like shoulders to
Head to toe.
knees.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like you put it on a girl, and it's like a
Chainmail
loincloth
bikini.
and a loincloth and a bra, and it's like what?
Yep.
But some of those too, you put them on a boy, and it's loincloth, and I'm like, whoa, nope, I don't want to see that. Let's put a different set of armor.
Maybe they should just
Conan was that way.
Maybe they should just have clothing that's appropriate.
Yeah, just give me like the coal miner red onesie with the butt flap. Just give everybody that. It's practical.
Exactly. But I want to
like
go back
like the jumpsuits in Fallout.
Yes.
Exactly.
I want to go back to some of the games that Courtney plays. I want to put
Yep.
some up on the screen. You play this game, Frozen Flame. Talk to me about this.
This one's newer. But it's, how do I explain it? The graphics are great. I think they're still kind of in development. A couple of us played this. It wasn't like as a demo, but they basically released like one area of the game, and from what we played, it was gorgeous, really interesting game mechanics, well thought out, but just felt incomplete. But again, like a really fun game, easy to play in a group, and yeah, it was just one of those more kind of sci-fi fantasy games that I thought, hasn't gotten enough attention, but from what I played, I enjoyed.
Okay, and as a gamer, Courtney, how do you feel you have been welcomed as a female gamer versus when people don't know your gender? How different were you been treated?
Discord has changed.
Oh, we coming to you, Sarah. Calm down.
Discord has changed that because voice chat. And like I said, I know I have some friends that are women that play Call of Duty online, and they're like, I don't even turn my mic on. I listen to everybody, but if I talk, I just get dogpiled. Guys being inappropriate or just rude, or oh my gosh, I can't believe you can play this, your girl, blah blah blah. I joined a Discord channel a few months ago, and we were just BSing and random chit chat and talking about trucks and guns and blah blah blah, and literally someone was like, "Are you married?" And I was like, "Dude, I've been in your server like 7 minutes. Don't do this." And yes, happily. But it's interesting. Like, one of the weirdest experiences I had was playing Final Fantasy XI online, and I was playing a Taru, which they're like these cutesy little kind of, it's hard to explain. They're kind of mousy looking, like little gnome people, to put it kindly. Like, I don't know. That's probably not very PC. I'm sorry.
Now we have some gentlemen on our chat tonight, and I would love to know: do you guys get the same kind of treatment that Courtney has gotten as men? If you have and you want to share away. But continue, Courtney.
So I was playing as a male character, and I had a bunch of people in the game come up to me and be like, "Oh, do you need help? Do you need money? Do you need, this or that?" And I was just like, and there's definitely, like, in FFXI, there is a race of all girl cat people.
Cat people.
Oh yeah, yep, kitty ears and tails and everything. It's very Japanese. Thank you, Square Enix. The next iteration, they were bunnies, but I think they were all still female. But like, that was one of the things that was like, people mostly thought girls played female characters, and I was very surprised to be playing cute, but playing a male character and still getting that kind of like attention, I guess.
Well, maybe because it was a halfling, basically, that maybe they thought you were a younger child,
maybe,
or like a
because there was no voice chat in those days,
right?
So it was yeah, it was interesting. I still can't do the math on that one. But most of the time, people are pretty generally cool. Like I said, it's I don't play a lot of really competitive games. I think it's probably a little more intense in like first person shooter environments because they're super competitive and they're very fast paced. And you're not playing with the same group of people for an extended amount of time unless you choose to. Generally, with games like that, and Sarah, you can probably, explain this better, but you get into a lobby with a group of people, you play a
Yep.
round or two, and then you're out.
Yeah.
And then it mixes you into
And
another group of
randomly,
people.
yeah, it grabs more people and starts again.
Yeah.
Now, we have actually some gamers on here that have made some comment. John says that in RuneScape, I always play as male and no one bothers me. That's the only more PG I've played. And I'm probably saying that wrong. I'm so sorry. And hello, United Federation of Planets, our loyal viewer, says I have a whole pink skin in Halo, and I get a lot of people hankering. Not gonna change it though because it looks fantastic.
Nice. I want to see
Yes,
that. I'll
hackling.
have to
He
look that
meant
up.
hackling.
Right.
Sorry. But
Courtney,
yeah,
Courtney, would you explain to Nita what MMOs are? I don't
Hmm?
know if Nita knows. I don't know if
I
Nita
don't
knows
know what an
what an MMO is.
So an
MMORPG is.
MMORPG is a massive multiplayer online role-playing game. So
Got it.
Final Fantasy, WoW, World of Warcraft,
My
And
Elder
it's
Scrolls
yeah,
basically
Online.
lots of
New
people
World, Elder
playing.
Scrolls, Guild Wars. Yeah. It's people from all over the world. Generally, you're grouped by region. So like I just started playing New World today. That's Amazon's MMO that they put out a while ago, and I chose a East Coast US based server because that has the best internet connection for me because I have Starlink, so I'm on potato internet. So I gotta
She is,
I gotta
ladies and
do what I
gentlemen. It's
can.
basically a dial-up, so forgive her if we
Yeah.
lose her.
Yep. I live in the sticks. It's quiet, but the Wi-Fi sucks.
But I mean, in those
It's
games where
okay.
there
Hey,
are a
it's okay.
lot
Come here.
of people playing, you're going to come and confront some jerks.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
It's the internet. It's
Yeah,
full of it.
I think that that's sad because just because you're a gamer and you're putting yourself out there, even if your character is very seductive, it is not an invitation for anyone, male or female, to be rude to that person or to be sexual towards that person. It is a character, you're playing a game, it is for fun, and that's something that should just, it should be understood. Unfortunately, it doesn't
Right.
always translate.
Right. And I mean,
Yeah,
I know plenty of women who do play games that do use that as an advantage. And, okay, sometimes you get free stuff. Sometimes people are willing to help you when they might not otherwise. Yeah, I have a very supportive group of friends on Discord, and generally, I know I'm not, the best or the brightest, and like I said, so I don't expect them to carry me, but I appreciate the
okay,
help. And it's one of those things where
absolutely.
it's like I'm not gonna, I love helping people in games. I do the farming and cooking stuff, but not that there's anything wrong with it. But
Nothing,
for me,
nothing,
it's
nothing
like
at all.
I end up being like server mom half the time because I'm like, do you need food? Do you need ammo? Like, do you have all the supplies? Like, can I make you some bandages? So like, it's kind of, I don't know. I don't mind that role, but I'm also choosing it for myself. It's not that, the people in the group that I'm in expect me to do that. And they don't expect
Exactly.
it because I'm female.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I want to be clear to our audience. There is nothing wrong if you meet someone, and you enter into a relationship with someone that you've met online on a game. Listen, do you, right? But be certain that it's the attention, or it's wanted.
Right.
And if someone is asking you to back off, be respectful, back off, because that is should be a space of fun.
Mhm.
Now we are going to be going into some of the games that Sarah um, plays, and you play quite a bit. Talk to me about this one here.
I've been playing this one since it came out. Courtney's even watched me play this one. Um,
Many moons
and
ago.
many moons ago. Um, I this is I don't know, how would you describe it, Courtney? I mean, it's a role playing game, but it's like it's first person, and it's not, this iteration is not online, so you play by yourself. But it's like you can explore the world, and you can do crime and do time, you can go to jail, you can hunt down dragons, you can hunt animals. You can build your character however you want to be, like if you want to use just magic, or you want to use brute force, or you want to be a sneak archer.
So you're on your own though. There
um
aren't any others that you interact with.
you
Any
can
real
get,
players, not
no, not real players, you can get NPCs to help you.
NPCs. Hmm.
Generally you have to do them a favor or help them with something, some task that you have to do. Sometimes it's a couple of tasks for people, and then once you've done that, they'll be like, "Oh, I'll be your friend. You can ask me for help, and I'll go with you." And then they'll carry your burdens for you and help you in fights and stuff. But sometimes they like to stand in the doorway.
And now we have this other game here.
And that's Quake. That's the first one I ever got into, and
So
that
talk to
was
me. How is this a game that you play by yourself, with
y- um
others?
both. I started playing on PC by myself, and then you know, school had internet, so I used to go up to my science teacher's room on lunch and play online because they had, good internet. Because I couldn't play, I lived in the sticks. I had like really crappy internet. I had
Potato
dial up.
internet.
Oh, worse than potato. I had dial up. Um, but once I got online, that's where I would play on these, and it's a free for all server, so like you're running around shooting the other players, and that, like, there's no
PvP.
bad guys. What'd you say, Courtney?
PvP. Player versus
Yeah,
player.
PV. Yeah. And
Sarah, you have a question here from our United Federation of Planet. Have you played the remastered version on Quake?
not yet, but I plan to. Yeah, I just found that today. Like today, I found out that there was a Quake 5, and I said, when did that happen? I didn't even know that it happened. But I've been kind of stuck in a Skyrim hole for like years. Um, but that's
It's
where I
such an
have a lot of,
expansive game.
well, there's so much to do, and then the game never, like, even if you finish the main quest, you never really finish the game. Um, and then you can just start over again and make a new character, a new build, male, female, whatever you want. You could be a cat person, you could be a lizard person, you could be a dark elf, a light elf, whatever. That's very customizable. But this game is where I first encountered the not welcoming crowd. Like if I played with a handle, a name that was female representing, because everybody looks the same. Well, I mean, mostly, but it's pretty much the same character over. They're all male. The characters are, so you can't like tell what anybody is. But if you had a female sounding name, and like Courtney said, there was no chat, no voice chat, so there was only a little bit of text chat. But if you had a female sounding name, they would automatically gun for you.
Really?
Yes, like they would wait for you to respawn and frag you, which is kill you, which is, and like as soon as you come back alive, you'd be dead again. So it's like you can't even play, because as soon as you come
Because
back
they don't.
in,
It's kind of like they don't want you.
right. So if you go back out, change your name and come back in, and and then, and really it wasn't the same people all the time. It was just the people that were there that were always there, and it wasn't always all of them, because I mean you're always gunning for everybody. But like if you had a generic name, um like Star Killer or something. But if you had like my handle is Lady Sunburst, so if that was in there, they're like, oh, this is a girl, we're gonna go get her.
Yeah, exactly.
But if like say you played a Star Killer, that has no gender, and they leave you alone. And
Interesting.
well, that's where I learned to snipe, because I would go find a spot, and I like after that had happened, I'm like, okay, we're gonna play that way. Then I'm gonna go find a little hole, and I'm gonna snipe you as you're waiting for the next person to do that too. And while they're waiting next to the respawn spot, bam, bam, bam.
That's
And
right. Girls got to have each other's back.
yeah, because you gotta do what you gotta do. But I
Exactly.
enjoy first person shooters. I used to play Call of Duty. I can't play it anymore because I can't. It's too much hostility, too much negativity. Not the game itself, but the guys. um I know, Courtney, you had told me a story about that, you had put your name as just a girl, so that you should tell that story.
You were so I was in an office. I was working for a university, and every Wednesday night we would stay late at the office and order pizza, and we would all play Battlefield 2 together. So, being the only woman in IT at that office, I decided it would be funny to make my name a girl. So, anytime, and I was also a big time sniper. Anytime you were shot, it was, you've been killed by a girl. So, and being the only one, they all knew it was me because we were playing on a LAN. It was local only.
Yeah.
But it was just, it was satisfying in that way, because it was like, oh, you got killed by a girl. But it's kind of like, I mean, I'm okay poking the bear occasionally, but sometimes, like you said with Call of Duty, even just like my sister and her husband play online, and she basically doesn't anymore. She's like, it's
Oh,
it's
wow.
too hostile.
Yeah,
Even
I
having my
can't.
husband in the same, like, what's it called,
Server
lobby,
lobby, yeah.
people still would just dogpile on her and give her shit for being a woman, and I'm like,
That's horrible.
it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy, though, for, like, the whole Gamergate thing aside.
Yeah,
uh there's been a lot of, guys ask, well, why aren't there more women in gaming? Well,
because you guys are
because
hostile.
y'all get weird about it when we are, and it's
Exactly.
not everyone, not all men, and not all people are that way. And I know plenty of
Mhm.
women that have, not plenty, I guess. I was on a Left 4 Dead. Was it Left 4 Dead or 7 Days to Die? I was on a zombie game server, and there was a gal who was in charge of the finances because they were paying to run the server. It was a private server, and they had a Discord channel. And long story short, a GoFundMe was started to help one of the players who was a vet get a better PC. He had, potato computer. And she was like, oh, I'll set up a GoFundMe and we can all pitch in to get this guy a new PC. So we raised $3,000 between, like, 20 of us, I guess. And
That's not bad.
to buy this guy a new computer. And she logged off and never showed up again and took the money. So
No.
I totally, it goes both
I mean, it
ways.
goes both ways.
There's
Yeah.
crappy people no matter where you
Crappy
go.
people are crappy people.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
They're gonna be crappy on the internet. They're gonna be crappy in real life. Can't do anything
Hmm.
about it.
Yep.
By
Thing
and
to
large,
take.
I will say
I think the thing to learn is be careful who you play with and
exactly.
what you
Really
trust.
really know who you're actually playing with. And
Yeah.
Right.
that's,
Right.
that's something as a mom I have to be cautious
Yes.
of, because like even like Leah likes to play, I have a 10-year-old daughter, and she likes to play like Roblox and stuff like that, but I have her play offline, because when she was younger, even now than she is now, when she was 6, she got on, and immediately she had older males trying to connect with her and, like, talk to the kids and stuff, and that's not okay.
Yeah.
I don't, that's something that I noticed just recently, we set her up with, she wants to learn Spanish. So we set her up with Duolingo, and they know it's a kid's account. So like when I went to, I, as an adult from my account, went to find her username to friend her, she doesn't exist.
Oh wow.
So they don't allow you because you're an adult to find
Right.
her.
And so they,
That's good.
and they don't allow anyone to friend request kids. And they don't have friends. They get to be on, they're on like a kid's server that they can, like on a kid's leaderboard, but they don't actually communicate. They're not able to communicate with anyone. And I was actually
Wonderful.
pretty impressed with that. I mean, and Duolingo's set up like, it's set up like a game, so it's fun. So she's learning. So I mean, it's not really a game, but I mean, it's educational. But that was something that really impressed me, and I was like, I wish more things were like that. That
Oh, we grew up
once she's
in the Wild West internet.
Oh,
God.
absolutely. We
Oh
absolutely
God, yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There
I
was
remember
there was nothing blocking
anything, because I remember
danger.
being in the IRC chats, and I had a friend in Israel, I think, and he said he was my age, but he could have been, who knows how old he really was.
Exactly.
Oh
And
yeah.
because I mean it was text-based chat, so it was better. I mean, it wasn't
Yeah.
face to face or anything, but still you're talking to people and you never know what you're going to get, and that's
Yeah.
just increased with time.
Yep.
I don't
Now,
know if that makes
getting
sense.
back to
The games.
your games in
Yes.
particular, you have
Oh,
talked to me about this guy. This looks amazing.
this is this is a fantasy game, and there's three versions of this. There's two that are underwater, and then one is in a cloud suspended city. The two that are underwater, you start out in a plane crash, and you have to go down to this city that's built under the ocean in the 1950s. So there's like all sorts of nostalgic stuff, and not a lot of technology. I mean, there's some advanced technology, but not a lot. And you have to basically like splice, and which is, you get these abilities. So you get magic through these magic ocean goo worms. I don't know, but they call it Atom.
And
Like
do you play online with others, or is it
no, this is an
a
offline
solo?
game. This is an offline game.
Okay.
But you can set the difficulty, so you can start, like, if you never played first person shooters, or you can go, but this game, it's not just a shooting game. Like, you have to learn how to use your magic, and you have to build things and fix things and rescue. They're little girls, but I mean, yeah, there we are
There
with
you
the
Gotta go
are,
save the
rescuing
girls.
there
little
you are.
girls.
And of course, you're a big daddy. You end up
That is, yeah,
really,
that's what the character's called.
that's what
Okay.
you start as a male, and you have no way to control it, and you have to rescue the little sisters, or harvest them if you choose, but I always rescue them. um well, you get more, like, you get some of the magic goo from them when you rescue them, but if you rescue them, you only get like half, but if you harvest them, which kills them, you get double.
It's
So
interesting how the ones that can get kills are the female characters.
well, there's lots of the bad guys in the game are splicers, and they have all sorts of different magic and stuff, and they are male and female, and the females aren't naked. They're psycho, but they're not naked.
Okay, at least they're dressed.
they're wearing 1950s attire, so
Oh, cute.
dresses, and some of them have slacks on, or work jumpsuits and stuff like that. But it's very interesting, because you have to go through the whole underwater city to get to the end, and at the end, there's big reveal at the end, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody that's played, that hasn't played. And then it goes to the next game, and you start out as a big daddy, and you have to, it's like years later, and you have to save a big sister that's grown up, that they're abusing, and of course it's another girl.
Of
and
course.
then and then even when you go to the cloud city, to BioShock 3, when you're in Columbia is what they call it, the city, it's
Oh
a
God.
girl again. You yeah, I mean it's that kind of, I mean, yeah, it's not a great
We
for
need more
women.
games where we can pick and choose who we're going to
Yeah, the
save.
girls rescuing the dude in distress. That would be nice.
Exactly. That would be nice. Now, talk to me about this.
These are the Lego Star Wars games, and I love them. They're satisfying to me. I don't know. I mean, because you can break stuff, and you can, you're generic plastic figure, so you can play, pretty much you can play whoever you want. So you can play as a good guy, you can play as a bad guy, you can play as a girl, you can play as a boy.
Can
And
you
this
A
is
lot,
customize
online.
your character? Like, are you're a Lego minifig, right? So you can
right,
like change your
and you
hair and change
yeah,
your
you can
like
change
your
everything.
little
You can
hands and
change,
everything.
that's like, I learned with the original Star Wars saga, the one in the lower right, um the complete series, that you could get around the dark magic by using the dark force if you created a character and then added um like a red lightsaber to them, even if they were a light character, because then you could use both sides. And
Oh.
so you could be a girl, a boy, a robot, an alien. You could be a Wookiee if you wanted. And I
Nice.
mean, your little minifig, but
Hmm.
it's this one gives you a little bit more freedom. Um, like with Indiana Jones, of course, you're playing as Indy through the game, but later on you can change it. And same with Batman. Later on, you start as Batman, and like all of them, you start as a guy. Well,
And this is an online game.
no, these are offline too.
Okay,
Um,
offline.
I think some of them do have online features, but I don't bother, because I'm so leery of that online hate that I
Yeah.
don't go online. Like, even um I got Elder Scrolls Online, which is another iteration of Skyrim, and I've kind of like stepped into the lobby. Like, I spent a lot of time training to like level up my in the lobby, training to level up before I went out, and it didn't last long. And it just, I got frustrated because I do like to play as a female, and it's like I don't want to have to go play as a dude to be able to play. But not every female character in the game is played by a girl, and not
Right.
every boy is played by a boy, specifically male. They shouldn't be gendered like that, but still people,
Hmm.
and that's a newer game. That one's Elder Scrolls Online has only been out like a couple years, I think. And I've only had it for a year, and I gave it like 3 good goes, and I'm like, "Oh,
Now,
okay."
I wanted to ask both of you a question. I've seen these controversies online about people complaining that some of the games now are asking for your pronouns, and you've got your, oh, why do you need pronouns? Blah 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 blah. And how do you feel about these changes that are happening in gaming to kind of come up with what's happening in society today and line up with what's going on?
Well, if I had the option, I'd probably choose they them so that I could just play. I mean,
So you think it's
honestly,
a good thing that
I
they
think it
have these
is,
options?
You don't
because
think you'd get harassed more for being gender neutral?
I don't think so, but maybe, I mean, I guess I could give it a go and see. But
Right.
I mean, I because I know I follow a female gamer on Facebook, and she goes to play and blow off steam, and like literally, like you said, like 3 minutes in a server and somebody's already hitting her up and like, can I get in your DMs? And like, I'm married. I'm married and I have kids. And then like, and then as soon as they turn, as soon as she turns them down, they're like, well, you're a dude pretending to be a girl. Like, what? What? Yeah,
How
this
about
is not.
you, Courtney? What are your thoughts on that?
As a non-binary person myself, but AFAB, uh, I honestly, I think it's a good thing. I mean, I appreciate the option. Um, there's lots of times, and it's been interesting to me as someone who's been shaving their head for a few years on the regular. I can choose a female character, but I can choose to be bald. Actually, when I was doing character creation on New World earlier today, I could have a beard as a female character, but you could still only choose male or female. And a lot of that, it's, in some games they'll show like the symbol, like the little, the circle with the,
Yes.
the male or female symbols. And then in some of them it's just like a vague silhouette. But one of them has bigger hips. Like, so it's one of those things where I don't necessarily, like you were saying, Sarah, I don't necessarily assume that somebody is the gender of the character they're playing. And if it's not somebody that I'm, like directly involved with, like I'm not playing the game with them, I really don't care.
Right. Why should it
Just
matter?
don't steal my resource that I'm, if I'm going to if I'm about to mine something, don't come up and steal it from me. But like,
Yeah, so don't be a jerk, just like always.
Yep.
right.
Now, we do have a comment on this topic, and it says, for Starfield, that just came out. People even stopped playing just because it had pronoun options. In my opinion, it's just petty. It
Well,
truly
guess
what?
what?
is.
They already got
that's
your
great.
money.
Yep.
Yeah.
They did get your money.
Yeah,
you already have the damn
exactly.
game.
Well, okay. I know on Steam, if you haven't played more than like 5 hours, I think you can request a refund on a game. But like, you know what? If that's keeping those people off the game,
Then good.
awesome.
Then go.
I don't want if something as simple as that is, bothering you that much, I don't want to deal with you online. Just because it's a personal preference, it's none of your business, and it doesn't matter.
Well, like it would almost be better if there was no his, hers, if it was just all they, them, because then you could play.
Exactly.
I know that's because that would cover everything. But like Starfield, people will lose their cool. But I mean, the company already has your money, so I mean, really, you're only hurting yourself.
Exactly.
I think Cyberpunk 2077 had that also. I'm not positive. I haven't played it because there was so much online talk about how bad the game was when it first came out, but
yeah, because they let it go before it was done, and then they're like, "Here, you figure out the bugs. We don't want to figure them out."
I don't know if it got leaked or what happened.
And I think we have a question wanting clarification on how long before you get your refund. Is it 2 hours or 2 weeks of playing?
Oh, okay. I think if you've owned the game more than 2 weeks, you can't get a refund, or if you've played it for more than 2 hours. Hi, Casey.
You can't get a refund. Okay. So that is fantastic. I mean, I think that what we've learned tonight is that just like everything else in our world, the gaming community is also moving forward and learning how to represent its communities. And that's okay. And it's totally great to play and to be respectful for one another. As women, it can get really frightening when we are harassed, even if it's online. It may not seem like, oh, but it's online. But we face online harassments that become quite real and physical in the real world. So that's why we put up these walls and we are frightened, because we never know who the nice guy is. So let's respect each other and enjoy each other's company online and enjoy it. Thank you so much for Courtney for bringing her expertise, and for Sara, again, being our visiting sci-fi queen. Before we do close, I do want to do a couple of announcements. If you haven't seen these guys at Pop Culture Spread, they do movie and streaming news every Friday at 6:30 Eastern Time, Saturday a.m. That's Australia time. If you haven't seen them, I encourage you to go watch them. They're fantastic. Jason Roy Gaston, and also Jay is here. They have 2 shows on his YouTube, VHS One, and they have another show where they talk about if you don't agree with me, you're wrong. And it is pretty fantastic shows that they have going on. VHS Vault is one of my favorite, very nostalgic. Talk about all the 80s movies. Terrific. Go follow them, check them out. And of course, my buddy, Captain Joe Dub, and Jason Roy Gaston in Captain Squadron every Thursday night, talking about the latest episodes of Star Trek. But thank you, ladies. Our next our next podcast will be Friday, October 20th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we will be reviewing Fire Maidens of Outer Space.
Ooh.
And Navia will be back. Yes. Yeah, so you can find that movie on Amazon Prime and I believe Tubi as well. It's free on Amazon Prime, free on Tubi. So check it out and join us on the 20th and let us know what you think of the movie. But thank you guys for being here, and we will check you out in a couple of weeks.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our new channel so that you can get notified when new videos come up. Thank you for watching our show.